They say you can't. They say you're not good enough. They say you're dreaming too big. Have you ever heard those words? I have, more times than I can count. Those voices, sometimes they come from strangers, sometimes from teachers, sometimes even from the people who are supposed to believe in you the most. They plant a tiny seed of doubt, and if you let it, that seed can grow into a giant tree that blocks out all the sunlight. But what if I told you that their doubt could be your greatest fuel? Let me tell you a story about a kid named Leo. Leo wasn't the strongest, the fastest, or the smartest kid in his class. A T was just ... average. And he had a dream that everyone thought was ridiculous. He wanted to be a world-class chef. You see, Leo grew up in a small town where most people worked at the local factory. A chef. His uncle would laugh. Leo, be realistic. Get a steady job, something safe. Even his culinary school teacher pulled him aside one day. Leo, she said gently, you have passion, but your technique, it's just not there. Perhaps you should consider a different path. Every no, every laugh, every doubtful glance felt like a punch to the gut. Leo went home that day and almost threw his apron away. He looked at his worn-out knives, the stacks of cookbooks he'd saved up for, and felt a wave of despair wash over him. Maybe they were right. Who was he? Just an average kid from a small town to dream of Michelin stars? But then, something inside him shifted. A spark of defiance. He thought of his grandmother, who taught him how to cook. She never said he was the best, but she always said, Leo, when you cook with love, people can taste it. He remembered the joy on his family's faces when he'd make them his special spaghetti. The doubt didn't disappear, but a new feeling rose up to meet it. Anger. A quiet, burning anger. Not at them, but at the limitations they tried to place on him. That night, he made a decision. He wasn't going to let their voices be the soundtrack to his life. He was going to write his own song. There You Can't became his I Will. There You're Not Good Enough. Became his I'll become the best. There It's Impossible became his Watch Me. Leo's life changed. He started waking up at 4 a.m. before the sun rose to practice his knife skills. He'd chop onions until his eyes burned and he couldn't see. Then he'd wash his face and chop some more. He spent every penny he had not on video games or new clothes, but on ingredients. He'd try to recreate complex dishes from his cookbooks, failing hundreds of times. His kitchen was a constant mess of burnt pans and lopsided cakes. He took the lowest paying job he could find in a restaurant kitchen, a dishwasher. While his hands were raw from scrubbing pots, his eyes were wide open, watching everything. He watched how the head chef commanded the kitchen, how the line cooks moved with precision, how ingredients were transformed into art. He didn't just wash dishes, he studied. He absorbed every detail. After his shift, when everyone else went home, Leo would stay. He'd offer to prep vegetables for the next day for free. He asked questions, a lot of questions. Some of the other cooks were annoyed. "Go home, kid," they'd say. But the head chef, a stern woman named Chef Dubois, saw something in his eyes. It wasn't just passion, it was a relentless, stubborn hunger to learn. One day, the sous chef called in sick on the busiest night of the year. The kitchen was in chaos. Chef Dubois was shouting orders, but they were falling behind. Suddenly, she looked at Leo, who was meticulously dicing carrots in a corner, and yelled, "Leo, can you handle the garnish station?" Leo's heart pounded in his chest. This was it. He had never worked the line before, but he didn't hesitate. He just nodded, wiped his hands on his apron, and stepped up. For the next 4 hours, he was in a whirlwind. Plates were flying, orders were screaming, the heat was intense. But Leo was ready. All those pre-dawn mornings, all those failed attempts, all those hours of watching. They had prepared him for this moment. He moved with a focus and speed that surprised everyone, including himself. By the end of the night, the kitchen was quiet. Chef Dubois walked over to him. She didn't smile. She just looked at him, then at his perfectly organized station, and said, "You're on the line tomorrow. Don't be late." That was the beginning. Leo wasn't an overnight success. It was a slow, grueling climb. He worked his way up from garnish to appetizers, from appetizers to sauces, and eventually, after years of dedication, he became Chef Dubois's sous chef. But he didn't stop there. He remembered those voices from his past. He saved every dollar he could and eventually opened a tiny 20-seat restaurant in a forgotten corner of the city. He poured his heart, his soul, and his story into every single dish. The first few months were brutal. Some nights, only a handful of people would show up. The doubts started to creep back in. Was his uncle right? Was this all a foolish dream? But then he would look at the small "I will" he had taped to his kitchen wall, and he would keep going. He kept refining, kept creating, kept cooking with love. Then, one evening, a famous food critic came in, unannounced. Leo didn't even know who she was. He just cooked for her the way he cooked for everyone with everything he had. A week later, a review came out. It didn't just praise the food. It told his story. It spoke of a chef who cooked with not just technique, but with soul. Overnight, his little restaurant was booked solid for a year. People from all over the world came to taste his food. And one day, years later, Leo stood in a gleaming white chef's coat, tears streaming down his face as he was awarded his 3rd Michelin star. He had done it. The average kid from the small town was now one of the best chefs in the world. Now, why am I telling you this story? Because Leo is in all of us. We all have that dream that someone, somewhere, has called impossible. We all have those voices of doubt, both external and internal. The world will always try to put you in a box. It will label you, judge you, and tell you what you can and cannot be. Don't let it. Their disbelief is not your reality. Their opinions do not define your potential. Let their laughter be the background music to your training montage. Let their doubt be the fire that forges you into someone stronger than you ever thought you could be. Every time you feel like giving up, Remember Leo chopping onions in the dark. Every time you fail, remember his burnt pans and lopsided cakes. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's a part of it. It's the price you pay for greatness. The journey is long, lonely, filled with moments where you'll question everything. But the secret is to not let those moments win. Then you fall down. Use their words not as anchors to hold you down, but as stepping stones to climb higher. Look in the mirror. That person looking back at you is capable of incredible things. Don't let anyone, and I mean anyone, tell you otherwise. Your dream is yours. It was given to you for a reason. It's your responsibility to protect it, to nurture it, and to bring it to life. So go out there, be relentless, be stubborn, be obsessed with your own potential. Work while they sleep, learn while they party, live the life they said you never could. And one day, when you're standing on top of your mountain, you won't need to say a word. Your success will be the noise. You will have proven them all wrong. Thank you so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content to help you on your journey. Remember, you've got this. Now go and show them.